Make sure you get over and follow Geeks and Gamers. Tell them the Magster sent you. I did not expect to see this title when I woke up this morning.
So obviously all eyes are on the Superman box office. We talked about it pretty extensively yesterday.
And from what I've heard, it's not trending to beat Man of Steel yet. It could, with word of mouth and legs. It could, since people are liking this. But the fans are divisive right now. And that's going to take its toll. So we'll see whether it's good enough or not. You know, I think Superman kind of has a shielding with its name, similar to Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. We'll just have to see, because people have noticed that superhero movies have got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Okay? Even though they're doing the same thing to all other types of movies and media, because superhero movies are the most popular. They're the ones where the spotlight is being shined on. And I think that's the reason why people say superhero fatigue when it's not. It's truly woke garbage entertainment fatigue. It's in everything, but the most popular thing, then you're going to notice. You get what I'm saying?
Fairly extensively. And here we have Superman soaring to 22 million plus in previews. Best year to date and record for James Gunn. Higher than Barbie.
Okay.
Well, it is higher than Barbie. Obviously, superhero movie previews are typically massive compared to other type of normal previews. But that is slightly higher than Barbie. It's about $1 million higher than The Batman as well when you look at these previews. Now, keep in mind, both The Batman and Superman.
By the way, the Batman film is considered the greatest Batman film of all time, the greatest superhero film of all time by many. And it arguably is The Dark Knight. I think that if you think that this is better than The Dark Knight, you and I are on two different planes of existence. Well, we'll probably just never agree on movies, and that's fine. But that's just a totally different type of person. Like, I've seen comments that said this is the greatest superhero movie of all time, and I'm like,
had Tuesday previews before they had Thursday previews, the early screening, stuff like that. I think the Batman made $4 million on Tuesday. Superman made $2.8 million on Tuesday. Thursday, Superman is higher than the Batman. I saw a lot of people talking about, I even saw this as well, people being like, wow, that's way higher than Man of Steel. That is correct. That preview is way higher than Man of Steel.
By the way, let Matt Reeves direct, definitely, the Batman 2. And as long as James Gunn don't get involved, I think that's going to be another banger. I'm looking forward to the Batman 2. That, right now, is my most anticipated superhero movie. It's not Doomsday because I don't trust Disney. They may have brainwashed the Russos. So I won't trust it until I see it. You know what I'm saying?
Something to keep in mind when it comes to comparing preview numbers for things that released 10 plus years ago. If you remember this, Jay, previews used to be a very different thing. We used to have Friday midnight openings.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then about 12, 13 years ago, they started to do 10 p.m. previews on Thursday.
Yeah.
And then 9 p.m. previews on Thursday.
And then they dropped it down, and you get it early now. Some places like, how we got a 2 o'clock preview on Thursday?
I think Man of Steel, it was 10 p.m. previews. Now you're up to fucking 2 p.m.
See?
previews.
Yeah, that's about 2 o'clock.
Yeah, so the Thursday opening days, obviously, or the Thursday previews are obviously hugely expanded from things that came out a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a solid number, and it's a number that they need to have. We talked about this. I said that I thought those projections, the $100 million, I thought those were super low. I thought it would come in around 130-ish. And if it's tracking similar to the Batman, that probably does mean that'll end up where it is. there could be more walk-up business for this than the Batman. I don't think the Batman is a super like kid-friendly movie, whereas I think Superman will be.
Yes. Someone had posted something. I think they tagged me in it. They sent it to me, but somebody was checking all the theaters in their area, and Superman's not selling them out still. I think what the best thing to do is to do this. Maybe I'll do a video doing it. Maybe, if I feel like it. What you do is, because of walk-up business, check the seating to see if they're sold out like 5 minutes before the movie starts. You get what I'm saying? 5 minutes before the movie starts. Then go check to see if anybody's buying them. That's more accurate.
But internationally, there's still some problems. A couple places in Europe, it's actually second to Jurassic World, even with its opening, and it's projected to get less than opening weekend. Europe and Asia, very soft box office. Latin America, doing very well. But, I mean, good news for James Gunn's Superman, $22 million in previews. They need this to be huge, despite what they're saying.
Yes.
You saw this article the other day?
Yeah.
From Wall Street Journal?
Here's the goal, 500 million globally. Boy, they put that low, didn't they?
That is so fucking wild. Warner Brothers' goal was to gross over 500 million globally. Just want to put this in perspective.
I saw something the other day that said that like its opening is very similar to Brave New World. That's not good. So, you know, if it is, it needs to skyrocket after that. You know what I'm saying? Which could happen.
If it makes $500 million, it is a catastrophic, monumental fucking failure that will lose a fuck ton of money for them. This is the same, again, this is the same type of energy as Marvel saying Captain America Brave New World only cost $180 million and the break even is $425 million. Nobody believes that.
Right.
No one should believe that. They spent
no one in the know believes it. You know, there's plenty of people that don't even care about the movie business, that don't even think about the numbers, that just hear something on the news and they're like, oh, okay.
Well over $300 million on that movie. Superman spent well over $300 million on their movie. And they also spent $200 million marketing the movie.
Yeah.
So if your break even is at a minimum somewhere above $800 million, stop it with these fucking talking points, bro. But I'm sure people will repeat it because people are dumb. But if it makes $500 million, that is a massive disaster.
You know what? Is that going to be the new norm? It's like, they're just going to have the directors come out and be like, well, the goal is to make $300 million. So if we do that, then we're winning.
Yeah.
I also love the fact that when people try to do...
They already had them come out and say something about that $700 million. Oh, they're already doing it.
Movie numbers, like budget numbers, they oftentimes forget to add that the theater's got to get paid too. So just because it made... like a few million, like whatever million, like people forget.
I keep forgetting
some
about
of that money
that
goes
too.
to the movie theater.
Yep.
And like the percentage changes every weekend, I believe, for as long as it's in the theater.
Interesting.
I was reading, like, correct me if I'm wrong. I was reading like the movie gets the most the opening weekend, and then it slowly tapers down.
And then the studios, the theater starts getting
for
more.
Each weekend that it's out there.
Yeah.
Yes, typically opening weekend, the studios will get the biggest percentage of the cuts, and then as it's released, as it's winding down, they get less and less.
Right.
But also, it's going to be different depending on country, right? Here in the United States, the average over the totality of the lifespan of the movie, the studios, depending on the studio, can keep between 55 to 60%, right? Depending on what deal they work out and how front-loaded it is, stuff like that. Internationally, it's closer to 43% that the studio gets to keep. In China, studios only see about 25% of money in movies that are released in Chinese theaters. So overall, right, 25%. Everything's going to depend on when it made the money, how it made the money, where it made the money, all this shit. General rule of thumb is the studios get to keep around half, right, based on these worldwide releases, around half of the money that they make at the box office.
Right.
Certainly that can be different if you have a movie that does $300-400 million in China. You probably need to tweak the way that you are looking about that because they get to keep so little of it.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, that's the case. So when you claim you spend $225 million, they spent more than that, but let's take them at their word. And then they also admit, a Hollywood Reporter had that came out earlier, a $200 million marketing budget for the movie, and you have $425 million sunk into this thing before you're making a dime back. This is a catastrophe.
Yeah.
This is them trying to set the stage. This is expectations. This is
what the hell are they talking about?
It doesn't need to make $700 million. That's ridiculous. It needs to be big. And, it can be. There's a lot of people out there that like the movie, even though I'm not a super big fan of it. But it needs to do much better than that for it to actually be a success.
It needs rewatchability, man. People they're going to need people to go back and watch it a few times.
Yeah.
Right.
For it to work. But I guess we'll see.
But this, $22 million, just slightly above the Batman. That is good news for them. We're going to have to see how it tracks over this weekend. And my prediction was $130 million-ish domestic debut.
Yeah, so if it's a little bit over the Batman, if that's any indicator, how much money did the Batman make?
The movie
770.
earned a total.
Okay.
One of the problems is those international numbers, though. If this makes $135 million domestically and only $100 million internationally, that can be a problem. Like that can be a problem for them. Because right now we're all focused on domestic, and rightly so, because we're America, so fuck everybody else. But the truth is, the international numbers are often what make these superhero movies the massive hits that they are. And if it stays around that $100 million international one, still a lot of reason to worry.
Yeah, I've been watching a few different channels, different analysts and stuff like that. Just going to have to see. This is not an immediate no-brainer home run. We are just going to have to see what happens. Well, folks, it is what it is. Tell me what you think. Do you think it's going to be a smash hit and make $1 billion? What do you think? Because I saw people saying, it's going to make $1 billion. I don't see those comments anymore. That was before the movie came out. I don't see those comments anymore. It's hilarious to me. Tell me what you think. Do you still think it's going to make $1 billion or not? 10 million subscribers.